Chào bạn, hi and welcome back to Tasty Khmer Viet Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious classic Italian dessert, tiramisu. This is a dessert that is creamy, decorative, delicious, that is perfect ending to any meal. So let's get started. Today I have guests in my kitchen. My beautiful niece from college break, spring break, and my daughter, they're all on spring break. Now they're coming into the kitchen and help us make tiramisu. As my kids were growing up, they requested on an annual basis to have tiramisu for their birthday as a birthday cake. And we used to purchase this from a French bakery. But the one year, the French bakery had closed down. We were so disappointed. We did not have tiramisu. So I decided that since it's a special request from my kids, so I have learned how to make this. And we learned this recipe from a friend years ago. And ever since, we've been making our own. So go for it, girls. Tell them what we have tonight and what the ingredients are.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to need are 6 eggs. And we are also going to be using this egg sifter to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites, some mascarpone, some sugar, and some cocoa powder.
Then you're going to need some heavy whipping cream, vanilla extract, 2 packs of ladyfingers, and then Kahlua. And then on the side, we're going to make some espresso for the tiramisu as well. Okay, so for the first step, we're going to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites into 2 separate bowls, and we're going to be using the sifter to separate them. So you're just going to crack the egg. Yep, just like that. And then of course you can use your hands too, but then we're just using the sifter because it's easier. And then we're just going to move it over to the second bowl. Go. Then you're just going to repeat that for the rest of the eggs. Okay, so these are the egg yolks that we sifted away from the egg whites, and then now we're going to bring it over to the saucepan and heat it up. Oh, so now we're pouring the egg yolks into this bowl that we're going to use to combine with the sugar on top of the saucepan. Okay, so I'm pouring water into the saucepan right now, and this is where we'll be placing the bowl on top of. So now we're putting the egg yolks on top of the saucepan. Then we're going to start heating it up on low heat. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour the sugar into the egg yolks. And then so we're going to just combine these until they get nice and creamy and smooth. Okay, so this is what your eggs and sugar should look like after combining for 8 minutes. Okay, so we're about 15 minutes in, and as now you can see that the consistency of the egg and the sugar combined is creamy. So then we're going to stop this at 15 minutes.
Okay, now we are turning our stove off and we are removing our egg yolk from the double boiler.
So for our next step, we're going to be mixing in the mascarpone cheese with the egg and sugar mixture. And then make sure you're not using cream cheese and that you're using mascarpone cheese. And then you're also going to want your mascarpone cheese to be at room temperature before mixing it in. Yep, so I think we should have left it out a little longer. And now we're just going to be combining it. See, so then if it's not room temperature, you're going to have a little more trouble mixing it in. Okay, so in this cup, we're going to be combining the heavy whipping cream and the vanilla extract. So we're going to need 1 1/2 cups of heavy whipping cream. And then you need your heavy whipping cream to be cold. Okay, and then now we're going to pour the vanilla extract in. You're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, so using the same hand mixer, you're going to want to combine the heavy whipping cream and the vanilla extract until it forms soft peaks. And then be careful not to over whisk it, because if you do, it'll just turn into butter. Gosh, and then you're going to want to be on the lowest speed. You're going to want to start off with the lowest speed and then gradually get, Okay, so after about 3 minutes, this is what the mixture is starting to look like. And then I'm just going to increase the speed to medium just to hurry up the process a little more. Okay, so we're about done mixing the heavy whipping cream and vanilla extract. I'm just going to increase the speed to the highest speed for 30 seconds. Okay, these are the soft peaks that you should see after you're finished. Okay, so with that mixture that we just finished, we're going to start whipping it into the egg and sugar combination. So you're not going to want to roughly mix it, you're just going to want to fold it, and I'll demonstrate that for you just in a second. Okay, so like I said before, you're just going to want to fold the 2 mixtures together until it's pretty well combined.
Alright, so next we're going to make our 2 shots of espresso. And if you don't have access to an espresso machine, you can always use instant espresso or go to Starbucks and get some espresso. Alright, so here we go. Yep.
So we're using the bowl is because we're going to dip the ladyfinger into this espresso directly, so it's easier to use the bowl.
Alright, so we're just going to use this pitcher to help us set up our piping bag here. And we're just going to put this around the rim of the pitcher. doing this is because we're making it in party size cups like this one. And so now we're just going to scoop this into the piping bag. We finish scooping this into the piping bag. We're just going to pull it off the rim, the pitcher, and tie it up. Alright, now that we've taken it off the rim, we're just going to tie this off so that we can pipe it into one of these party cups.
Okay, so now we're going to mix in our Kahlua with our espresso. And remember, if you're making this kid-friendly, to omit the alcohol. Okay. Okay, now I'm just going to use a fork to combine the two ingredients together.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is line up the lady fingers in a row. And basically, we're just going to cut off the tip. And then we're going to take our party cups and we're going to dip this in for just a second. And it's going to slide right into the bottom. And we're going to use the larger piece. And the larger piece is just going to go in, standing up right on top of that one. And then we're just going to repeat that for the rest of the party cups. Alright, so the longer you leave it in the coffee mixture, it's going to absorb more. So if you like less coffee, only dip it in for a second.
Okay, so now going back to our mascarpone mixture, you're gonna cut off the tip of the bag, just like this. You don't want it too big or else it's just gonna go out oozing everywhere. Like that. Top of the lady fingers, you're just gonna pipe some of the cream onto there. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next one, so remember, make sure you pipe it.
Make sure to pipe it evenly and tap it when you're done to get rid of all the bubbles. Alright, and now we're going to do the same thing. Make sure we tap it, get all the bubbles out. Alright, so now instead of the little cake individual forms, we also are going to make sort of cake form. And this one's going to take up 2 packs of lady fingers, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and dip it in for a second. And we're just going to go ahead and lay them in one flat row. The first layer is going to take up 1 pack of lady fingers. Alright, now that we are done with this first layer, we're going to go ahead and pipe in the layer of cream in between.
Okay, so now we're just gonna pipe an even layer of the cream onto the lady fingers. Okay? And then remember, when you do this, you're just gonna wanna keep it in one spot and just press it down. You're just gonna wanna try to even out the cream on top of the lady fingers. I'm just gonna wiggle it around, and then you can use a spatula as well. And just try not to...
Yeah, you're gonna put it on top. It's okay because you're gonna add another layer of lady finger, so it will high. It's just the top layer is the important layer. So for this layer, you can mess with it. It's fine.
So we are going to start our second layer, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to dip it for a second and go ahead and place in the second layer.
Okay, so now we're just gonna pipe our final layer of cream onto the second layer of lady fingers.
Alright, so layer as a eel.
Shake it big.
Alright, so we're a little short on cream, but that's mainly because we tasted it a little bit too much during the process. But it all worked out in the end, so don't taste too much.
Okay, now we're done sprinkling the cocoa powder. So for the cocoa powder, I guess if you're pre-making your tiramisu for an event, you can pre-make a day or so in advance, but don't put on the cocoa powder topping until you're ready to serve the tiramisu. We're only showing you with the cocoa powder on is because we want to show you what the ending would look like. But if you're going to pre-make it in advance, just put that lastly before you serve.
The reason why we like to take these little cups to parties is that it's more convenient for people to just take and eat instead of just cutting it up. And so for the best results, you want to keep these refrigerated for about 2 hours before eating them, just a tiny one, so that the mascarpone cheese can set. And then for the bigger batches, you probably want to wait maybe a day before you start trying them. You want to refrigerate this one for about a day before cutting it up and trying it, just so that the mascarpone cheese can set. So we're gonna close this one up, and we're just gonna refrigerate it and leave it overnight. So it's been about 2 hours since we finished making our tiramisu, and we're gonna taste test the tiramisu now.
Delicious. I liked it. Kind of finished it.
Yeah, well, I like to savor mine, you know.
I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you want to recreate this dish at home, you can find most of the ingredient in the link provided in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Tasty Khmer Viet Kitchen for more amazing recipe. Until next time, happy cooking!